Good morning. Just trying to arrange some things on my screen here, so give me just a second. Good morning. Hope you had a great weekend. Depending on where you got with your questioning, you may have an idea of what we're doing, and you may not have an idea of what we're about to do in the area of automation. So again, the questioning part is extremely important because some of you did get very far and had already know what we're about to do, but for a lot of you, you were still a ways off. But the short version is we're about to move into the automation unit where you're going to design, build, and basically create what's now considered a robot, which some of you had figured out, but basically a robot that you're going to teach it to walk. So the overall picture is you'll go from the design phase, figure out what you want your robot to look like. There are some parameters for that, all the way to designing and cutting the robot out of mainly materials that are very common. Cardboard is probably going to be the best one because if you're an in-person learner, if you're coming in during hybrid, then you can use the laser engravers and cut parts, which would be very valuable. If you're a fully distance learner, then you'll have to use the scissors and cut cardboard at home, which isn't the end of the world. The parameters that exist is during this unit, you're going to have to produce what's called a design brief. And the design brief is really a summation document that engineers produce all the time that walks everybody through where they started, all their successes, all their failures, pictures of sketches, pictures of prototypes, videos of prototypes working, all the way up to the final product. So in that design brief for you, what you're going to do is build a folder in Google Drive, share that folder with your teacher, and store all that stuff in there. And at the end, you'll put that together in, kind of a presentation that walks anybody through the process you went through to get from the beginning to the end of your project. In there will be a daily log. So every day you need to record what it is you've done. That has to stay current. And by current, I mean you can't wait 2 weeks and then go back and fill it in because you can't remember what you did at that time. So as your teacher checks that, which we're going to, you need to make sure that that's current within a day or two. If it's out beyond that, then again, you're going to get less points because at some point you're going to make up some of the stuff you just can't remember a week ago exactly what you're doing. All your research, and again, you're going to have to do research. You can't just take the information we give you and accept it as all the information. We're giving you the pertinent information to help you get going, but there's a lot of background information about things like, what do you know about coding? What do you know about Arduinos? What do you know about electronics? And if you don't know, which a lot of you won't, then you have to do the research and you have to record that research. In addition, you compile all your sketches, videos, photos, you name it, that also go in there as well as evidence as part of that. We'll begin by obviously introducing the unit, and then from there, we're going to take you through some simple activities that deal with coding, and Tinkercad has a circuits program. So an introduction to how the Arduino works, how the coding works that controls the Arduino, as well as the electronics that are wrapped into that is kind of the beginning part. And then you'll get a kit, which you're responsible for. The Arduino kit has all the stuff in it you need. And you're going to do is use that kit to follow along with some activities, learn to do the coding, learn to make servos move. And once you've done that, then you're going to try to figure out how to get a robot to walk. And the connection there is human movement, right? Or a movement from other organisms and how their legs and body and how the balance works. So that's really another part of research that we're not going to spend a lot of time in. We're really going to expect you to do the work as to look at what will and won't make a robot actually walk through this process. So I've put the automation walking robot guidelines, this is kind of what I'm telling you about now. I put that in the weeks folder. And on day one, it's going to be the introduction. You'll get the kit, and then you'll begin Tinkercad circuiting. And that's really a lot of that's this week to give you an introduction and a good introduction to how Arduinos work and how coding in Arduino is connected to that. And Tinkercad Circuits does that very well. So there'll be several activities throughout the week. You'll do that. And then we'll switch mainly next week into coding your actual Arduino, and using that then to try to control servos, which are motors that turn. And those motors then, again, are going to be the kind of the mechanical part to movement of your robot. So that's kind of this week ahead. It'll be kind of the same whether you're in person or you're not in person. The week will continue on with some introduction at the beginning, and then you'll continue to go through Tinkercad and activities that get a little more complex as you go along. So when you're in here Monday, or you'll be in here Thursday, Friday, you'll just be continuing on with the week ahead. So it'll be a progression type week, and we'll move forward from there. Have a great Monday, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. Thanks.